we have Chris and Cory Johnston. Welcome to the show, guys. Where are you guys right now? Are you guys are practicing for another derby, aren't you?
Yeah, we had to switch gears and get the winter clothes on. We are at a house on Lake Lanier. We just got off the water about an hour ago. We drove all night to get here, so we got about 4 hours sleep. Now we were just rigging some rods, kind of switching modes, getting 12-pound test on instead of 60, and we're staying at house here with Gussie, Chris Groh, and Seth Fighter. So they might make a special appearance. You never know.
They're our guys.
Man,
very nice.
There's a bunch of Northerners in that house, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of us here, yes.
You guys
Two
got
beer drinkers in this house.
Yeah, wrong.
You guys need to get like a token Southerner in there or something to keep it honest.
Who transports the hockey sticks and the nets?
Oh, they always come with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beating snakes off if they try to get in the boat.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be a fun house, man. You guys got to go live and let us know what's going on over there. But you guys came off a big win. You didn't win the tournament, but to me, it's a win.
Big win.
You guys monster finishes in your first elite. Chris, I know you took second place, and you took second to arguably the greatest angler in the history of the sport, Rick Clunn. I mean, are you guys riding high from this? You got to be sitting in a great spot right now.
I'm thrilled. Just to be on the same stage as Rick is an honor. And if he's going to beat you, he might as well do it with 34 pounds. It's not like he beat me by ounces,
Yeah.
so he deserved it.
Yeah,
Or not 34, but to weigh in 34 pounds and beat me.
That was amazing what you guys were weighing in there, man. That 30-pound bag, we saw them every day. We saw massive amounts of 20-pound bags. Have you guys ever fished around a lake putting out that size of fish before?
No, I mean we don't get the only big bass we get to catch are smallmouths. We don't get a ton of big largemouths. But I've never experienced bags like that before ever. I had almost 28 pounds, and it was like the fourth biggest bag that day or something like that. It was just stupid.
Did you guys find any commonality with that body of water versus what you guys have at home that you were able to transition or translate it to do so well, the both of you?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of cut our teeth flipping for largemouths back home in milfoil and pencil reeds and cane, that kind of stuff. So Florida looks very familiar to us, and that's kind of why we like it so much.
We used to do stuff back when I was in a bass club where, we would, as a club, we would share information. We would combine our winnings and split it out. We would do things to really help each other and share areas. Which is really unheard of out on the pro tour to that extent. But I've heard you guys do a little bit of that. Is that true? Are you guys working that close together?
Yeah, and it all kind of started when we were younger. We grew up fishing team tournaments. That's all there really was in Canada. So we had all the gear. We just kept it our parents, and all the money just went in the same pot because it was a team tournament. And then we started into our family business, which is we were working together anyways, and it was working well, so we started fishing on the American circuit and getting into bigger money, but we always just kept the same format, that we just put all our money into the same account we've been using since we were 14. It worked. Wow. It worked then. It's been working now. And as far as the information goes, we do share information, but it's the same as almost any pro that goes out in the water. He has his buddies that he calls and said, hey, how are you making out? Is this lake sucking, or is it just me? And we do the same thing, but the nice thing is between us, we don't hold anything back. So you get buddies that can they tell you a little bit, but they don't want to tell you the juice that, yeah, I'm catching them in 20 feet of water on a crankbait, but we will tell each other that stuff. And we try not to fish the same water. And actually sometimes it's annoying because he'll tell me that, hey, I got maybe the winning fish up in this creek, don't go anywhere near it. So I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. I can't go anywhere near the creek, and I don't even get a chance to check it. But we work together like that. We try not to take each other's fish, and we try not to share fish, because if you're sharing fish, it's pretty hard to win a big tournament. So we try and stay away from each other, but help each other in the fact that, hey, I'm getting them on a spinnerbait on wood or something like that. Try it in that end of the lake, or stuff like that. And I think a lot of other anglers do that. They're just not as open about it.
Right. Cory, I got a question. Which brother found this mother lode?
Well, it's kind of a funny story because when we were in Florida, during practice and the start of practice leading up to it, it was a major cold front. And we knew that there was a big warm front coming. So a lot of the stuff that we actually practiced didn't have any fish on it then. So we kind of knew what was coming and where these fish were kind of going to go. And Chris got a couple bites in one patch of reeds, nothing major. And, the first day of the tournament, I went sight fishing for the most part, caught a couple off docks, the same stretch that Rick Munn caught all his off of, actually. And
you got out fished by Rick.
I did. But long story short, after that weigh-in, Chris said, I caught him in those reeds really good. So I went the next day, did my stretch of docks, and then I went and I knew where there's a patch of reeds, and I pulled into those patch of reeds and beat on them pretty good. And the third day, I basically stuck it out in those reeds and caught almost 28 pounds in those reeds. So Chris initially said that they were pulling up to spawn in those reeds, and then I went around, looked for a bunch more of it, and that's kind of how our team worked.
Chris, do you think Cory, with his newfound confidence, has an offshore account now? Hey, preparing to divorce you. He's sizing you up for a divorce. I can see it in his eyes, man. Look at him.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna give him a beating and take whatever is.
Yeah.
Well, is it true? Is it true that that you didn't? I think it was you, Chris, that you didn't win because your brother, took the scissors out of your boat the night before that day of competition.
Whoa! Let's back up here. It was Chris that took the scissors out of my boat.
That's a fact.
Well,
sabotage.
The question
Don't
stands.
stop you from catching fish, though.
I mean, he had to use his pliers, Chris. That had to cost him at least 10 casts a day. You kept him.
Yeah.
You may have kept him out of the winner's circle.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't feel bad for 1 second.
If you could leave your bodies and go into some other Pro Tour brothers' bodies, who would you rather, what bodies would you want to possess? Would you want to be the Lee brothers, the Shryock brothers, or the Lane brothers?
Definitely got to be the Lane brothers. I mean, they're pretty cool guys. I met them both, and they like to party. We like to party. To have fun.
That's what's up.
So it's got to be the Lanes.
This house we're staying at could be a lot of fun if we all bomb. Come Friday night, we might be letting loose if we're all not fishing Saturday. So,
well, you got Grow dragging you down, so there's a good chance.
He's standing beside us laughing.
You guys need to have hockey jerseys done up with sponsor stuff on it.
That's been talked about.
That was actually discussed for maybe when we go up north, closer to home.
They're called sweaters in Canada.
Really?
And a hockey helmet for takeoff.
Yeah, dude. Hockey gloves. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, gloves on the steering wheel. It's been discussed, yeah.
That'd be the best part. If you blew up on Clun and he's like, fishing new water, and you threw the gloves down.
Drop them
Throw the Sims down.
That would be good.
Nah, dude, I heard you were here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Rick could probably beat him up. That'd be the sad thing.
Oh, man, dude. Yeah, that
Jedi mantra.
Yeah, you got to go back to Canada, man.
What position? what positions did you guys play?
Center and right wing, both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry. You can answer this if you want to. Guy, I don't know anything about hockey. Is there different body types that play different positions? Like
sort of.
Not like football.
No. It's pretty generic.
Okay.
Whatever you're good at.
But your defensemen always seem taller than everybody else. Am I imagining that?
You're probably right. Back in the old days, the defensemen were the big, slower guys. But the times have changed, and now they got to be more agile, and they're smaller. But
Gotcha.
But on hockey, you got your first line, and then there's usually 4 lines. The fourth line's the weaker one, and they're usually the dumb ones that usually get beat up all the time. And guess where Cory played?
First line.
Yeah, right.
Do you guys remember what inspired you? Like, do you remember your first fish? Do you remember what, like, the moment when that happened? You're like, dude, this is awesome. I love this sport.
No, I can't really recall one specific one or my first fish, but we had a green wing trout derby, it's called, and it was at the lift lock, Peterborough lift locks where we live. And there's hundreds and hundreds of kids that go there. You win bikes and all kinds of stuff. So our parents would take us down there when we were younger, and Dad, knowing how to catch, trout his whole life, we'd catch like 200 of these things a day. We win like bikes and watches and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, winning stuff from fishing at an early age kind of, I think, built it up to where we are today.
For me, I don't remember my first fish or anything. I could look back. I got tons of pictures between the both of us when we were 4 years old holding up big bass. But my first tournament when I was 11, I remember that one very well. It was on Curve Lake, and we caught, my dad and I fished it. We caught every one on topwater. And I don't know, we weighed like 17 pounds, but we got like $2,000 or $3,000 cash, and I got to keep all the money. And I was hooked on tournaments since then. And so it's been fun. And I believe it or not, we're pretty young still, but we've been fishing tournaments for 20 years at least, each of us. So we've got a little bit of experience now, and now we're trying to get at that or carry that into the States and progress.
What you just said is very important about the 20 years experience. One of the most popular questions we get from our younger viewers is, how do I get into fishing? And you guys, it's immersion, right? You guys have been immersed since you were 11. You just said your first tournament. I mean, 20 years. Yeah. And I'm telling you right, if you can, guys, I know you're always asking the question. I don't put them through because I'm tired of seeing it. 20 years you got to be at this game, and here they are. 20 years later, they're sticking with it. You got to be absorbed with it constantly. You never need to ask it again. The template is on this episode, and these guys have it.
It's the guys that are obsessed. It's the guys that are 110% obsessed.
We never quit learning. Like, I look back at tournaments 3 or 4 years ago, and if I had known now what I knew then, or know now what I should have known then, I would have won tournaments. But you're always learning and progressing, getting better. And I wish I had the knowledge that I have now and go back 10 years, because you'd win every tournament.